Hello and welcome to the third part of the Google Hummingbird course. In this video, I want to talk to you about some bad SEO practices that might have brought in results in the past, but which will certainly not bring you any results in the future. If you've done this in the past, you might need to repair the damage done now, but you will surely want to avoid these practices in the future. Make sure you don't continue doing them. So let's get started. Once upon a time, link building was the most important step or the most effective step to get ranked on Google and to get visitors on your website. Now, people did a lot of things that was not a good idea to get these links pointing to their websites, and which should not be done now, of course. They include using automated software. Don't use automated software to comment on blogs, because these software will just put in repetitive comments on, say, hundreds or thousands of blog articles with just spam text and a link to your web page or website. But this is considered spamming, and Google has a very bad view about it now. If you have these links pointing to your website, they will be there for a long time. It will be hard to, in fact, it's harder to remove these comments and posts from the blogs than it is to put them there. So once the damage is incurred, it's very hard to reverse it. So don't make the mistake of using automated software to comment on blogs. The second tactic, don't make a big number of links through profiles on website. Now, many websites offer memberships, or they let you sign up, and sometimes they let you put in a little text about yourself in the profile, and that might also include a link. Many website owners have used these profiles to spam websites, put in fake profiles with links pointing to their articles, and keywords, and get ranked for keywords. But that's not a good idea now, because again, it's suffering from the same problem. It's spamming, and Google has a very bad view of spam. If you do this, there will be problems in the future. The third point is a bit more subtle. Don't buy links from other webmasters. That doesn't mean that you cannot advertise on other websites, but it simply means you should not buy links from webmasters. Now, there are link farms, or there are website owners who sell links commercially, who just have some content and a number of links on their website, the sidebars or some places like that. And now they're selling links commercially, which is not good, and Google is working very hard to identify such websites and penalize them. So if you're buying links from a webmaster, that's a dangerous practice, and it might get your website penalized. The third part is, of course, again, the same thing. Don't become a part of a link network or a blog network that promises to put your link on thousands of websites. That is not going to work anymore, because all of these websites are probably low ranked websites anyway, and having a link on, say, 500 or 600 of these websites pointing to your web page or website is again in the same category of spam. So don't do this. Instead, what you need to do is take an organic approach to links. Go and approach webmasters who are from the same niche, contribute to their websites, build up the links organically. Be relevant. Make sure you have links on relevant sites only. Irrelevancy is spam. The second thing you have to do, that you can actually do to build a link, or maybe more important than a link, get known in your community and attract visitors, is to answer questions on community websites. There are a number of community websites, and who will let you put a link in your profile, and if you answer questions there, people might visit you. They might like to consult you, or they might like to talk to you, or they might, when they see your profiles, they might click on the links and come to your website. And that's a very nice social way of building links and getting visitors organically to your website. So do things which are good. Be social, use the social media network, but don't use these massive link building practices which will get you de-ranked from Google. Moving on from links outside the website, let's focus on the content on your website. And here you must be very, very careful not to allow bad quality articles on your website. And I don't mean the articles have to be written like one of the leading experts or professionals. No, nothing of that sort. What I mean is, you must avoid articles that you know are badly written purposefully. So don't hire writers who are not good in the language and who don't have any knowledge of the subject matter and are not ready to do research either. So avoid all the cheap article writers who will just give you 500 or 600 words for $5 and not put in anything useful in those articles. The second thing you must avoid are article spinning software. You must have seen advertisements for some software like this who tell you that they can rewrite the articles in such a manner that the search engines won't detect, and it will change the article totally, advertised in many places. But frankly, these article spinning software are not going to be healthy for your website, because what they do is they change some words with synonyms or sometimes phrases with synonyms, and they prepare a new article which basically says the same thing. This falls into the category of duplicate content in Google, and it will get you deranked. Next point is not to put up small 500 word articles. Now, as a SEO professional, you might have put up maybe hundreds of 500 word articles on your websites in the past, but don't do that anymore. It's become such a common trope that everybody knows that it's abuse of the search engine system. If you are writing an article, make it comprehensive, make it long, make it a well written article on the topic that you've targeted. Don't write small articles which say basically nothing. And the next important topic is make sure your articles are human readable. They are detailed and have more than just text. Now, if you are getting articles spun or you're getting articles written by bad quality writers, they're not going to be human readable at all. They're going to be boring, they will turn people off, they will irritate people, and they will just move on from your website to some other place. That is not a good thing, because you want to control those bounce rates. They're keeping a healthy, maintaining a healthy website with people wanting to see your other articles is a good thing, and it will help you get ranked higher. The next practice you should strongly discourage is keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing is targeting a keyword in the article, repeating it again and again inside the article in a forced manner without caring about whether it looks streamlined, whether it's in the flow or not. That is a bad practice now. Don't repeat keywords unnecessarily. Target keywords in titles, headings, and make an organic article with natural flow. Don't try to put in the keyword 3 times in every paragraph or some secret formula of density that someone might have suggested to you. That's not a good idea. Instead, focus on readability. Secondly, you should target keywords that are directly related to your website or niche. Don't stuff in keywords that are not from your niche. If you're talking about mobile phones, don't put in keywords which are related to Hollywood or actresses or actors, because they are not going to be relevant, and even if they get you a small amount of visitors, it's going to backfire when Google penalizes you because there is no relevance in your website. So make sure that you target keywords which are directly related to your niche. Focus on it. Then we come to duplicated or similar content. I've already talked to you about maintaining the quality of articles on your website, and this is related to that. Do not prepare multiple articles saying the same thing to target keywords. That is a bad practice, because if you're putting up an article that says basically the same thing, that uses basically the same words, which is just the content of some other article rehashed, it is going to fall in the category of duplicated content. Do not get articles rewritten manually or by software to target keywords. Article rewriting is not a good idea. Instead of that, it would be much better if you handed the topic to someone and asked them to write a fresh article on it. Let them get their fresh perspective, let them do their own research and prepare an original article. Rewriting will still repeat a lot of the original article, which will harm you. Do not upload articles just by changing the titles and the content here and there. Now that is a very, very bad practice. If you've been uploading articles which are the same, just changing the titles and the meta tags, maybe the meta description, and just changing some words here and there in the paragraphs, it is going to backfire massively, because they're going to be they're all going to be flagged for duplicated content, and this will get your entire website penalized. So if you have duplicate content on your website, remove it. Start working on it now and remove it. If you've been in the website business for a little while, you might have heard of the term Ajax. Ajax is the technology which makes your website more interactive and responsive by loading content through JavaScript instead of loading the content from the server when the page is initially called. A lot of content might be loaded later on using JavaScript. Now that poses a big problem for search engines, because search engines can only see the text which is loaded initially by the web page. They cannot run JavaScript. That's why they cannot see the content loaded by JavaScript, especially on interactive actions like clicks and things. That's why you should avoid using scripts that use callbacks and Ajax to load content. That's not a good idea, because the search engines are totally blind to the content that you're loading using Ajax. Load the content that's absolutely important to load by Ajax. Don't fall for the flashy gimmicks and technical wizardry and damage your website by making your website inaccessible for the search engines. That's not a good idea. And that is why you must avoid those single page websites that tell you that it's only one page containing all the pages of your website, and people get to see different parts of it just by clicking a button. Now those kind of themes might look good to the user, but they don't appear to the search engines at all. A lot of that content is not visible to the search engines at all. So it's better to use a proper URL relationship to each article, to each piece of content, and load your data from server and serve it to the search engines as well as the user. The next tip is serve what you offer. Do not redirect your viewers to a different piece of content using JavaScript, because that means the search engine would still see the old content that you served to them, but the user will be directed to something else. That's a violation of the search engine rules, and Google has mechanism to check that. If you do this, your website will not appear on search. And don't serve different content to search engines and to the user again using JavaScript. There might be specialized themes or plugins that you might have seen who do this, but they will bring you bad reputation and they will bring you penalties from Panda. So don't do that. You must avoid it. In this lesson, we discussed some of the most common abusive SEO practices that you must avoid at all costs. In the next lesson, we will start discussing some good SEO practices that you can include in your plan, which will get you better rankings and help you survive Hummingbird.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and go to technicforce.com for more tools and training.